Get this thing set right a little bit. So this is my Ford. It's a 4500 series, I believe, from what I can tell by the numbers I found on it. It's a 1972, so it's old. Something happened to the steering on the thing. You can just take and turn the steering wheel around and around and around, and it don't do nothing. It all makes a little noise. So I've got to get the steering took apart on this thing and see if I can fix it. I don't know if I can even get parts for the blasted thing, to be honest. So I hope there's something I can fix. If not, I might have to get a machine shop to make something for it. I don't know. I'll find out more whenever I get it apart. I just thought I would get this started on this little video on this, because I can't do much to my garage, because I need to have this backhoe. I got to put in some pipe out there in my ditch right behind my garage and fill that in. And also I need to move this. I got a big iron beam laying right here I drug out yesterday with it. That's when I found out the steering was messed up. I did get that drug off the pad, but I got a bunch of other stuff I need to load up and put on a trailer, take off for scrap. So it's just one of them things, and it's trying to rain. It was raining this morning when I got up. It's after lunch now. So anyways, just every time I try to get started on something, there's something working against me. But anyway, I'm just going to pause it for now. I got to get my tools and everything out here. I just want to make this little brief intro on this while I, see if I can figure out how to fix this thing, because like I said, it's old as it is. Got online looking, trying to find another steering box for it. This is a manual steering box, but it has power. Whenever that arm there tries to push the cylinder, it does have a hydraulic cylinder on it. So it's called like a power assist or something like that, I think, maybe. But I can't find no steering box like this. The only one I can find is the hydraulic. It's got the steering power line that comes up to the steering box. But this don't have that. It's like it's a manual steering box. And it's got one lever on one side, one arm on one side to move the steering arm. Everything I find online has got this arm on both sides, and this don't have that. So I ain't had much luck at finding anything for it. So see, I got to get it out and get it apart, see what I can do about fixing it. Hopefully it's something I can do. I fixed a motorcycle one time. I had a spline shaft. The crankshaft for the motorcycle was going to be more than a whole complete motor was going to be. So I took and I welded the splines back on the end of that crankshaft, and took my die grinder and cut the splines down. And every time I'd cut, do one, I would slide the sprocket back on, make sure it would slide back on. And I did that whole, it was like, I don't know, 16, 20 splines I had to weld and grind down. And I fixed it, and it worked fine. So I might have to do the same thing with this. I don't know till I get it apart. Alright, that's it. I can get something else going here. Well, I might have lost the first part of this, I don't know. I got this tank cover and the instrument cluster and where the steering wheel comes up through it and everything. I got all that out of, off the tractor, but man, it was a job. Here was bolts up under there, and I thought the thing split in half, because it looks like it is. Like it would be made to come apart right here and right here, but it ain't. So there was bolts up underneath there and some on the sides, and God, it was a booger bear to get that sucker off. And then this is what I got right here. Got to get those. I don't know how I'm going to get that thing right there. I don't know if I can get a puller in here to get that off. No, this bracket here for the backhoe for the bucket, front bucket and everything. I need to get that off. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Not easily anyway. So, I don't know. I'm trying to get used to this camera here also too. I had a little bit on here before, but I didn't. I stopped instead of pausing it, and so I guess I lost all that. But I got a lot of this off right here. Got the steering wheel and all that stuff off. Got 4 bolts holding that whole thing on the bottom down here. 2 back here on that side, and 2 on the front. But I got to get this thing here off. Let's see what I can do. Mike can take a hammer and a long punch maybe, and Mike can get it off. I don't know. I just have to try it and see on how hard, how tight they got it on there. It might just come right off with a little bit of, a little bit of pressure. It might come right on off. I don't know. I guess I'll find out. So, and this weather is crappy out here today. It's kind of a misty light. All I got here, I think my lens here might be a little bit foggy up too. I don't know. Got me a table set up right here, and just to put my tools on and everything. Which most of it's been with a ratchet. And I get my impact to take that nut off for the steering wheel. Steering wheel come right off no problem. Which I've seen a lot of people trying to get that off, with a puller. But mine come right off, thank goodness. I tried to get one off of a old Sears garden tractor one time. I never did get it off, to be honest. I soaked it with everything, let it sit for weeks, soaking with all kind of lubricants and stuff and everything, puller on it. Couldn't get it off. I even bought a daggum a bearing puller, which kind of clamps around the back side of it, and everything. And I never did get that blasted steering wheel off that thing. But anyway, I wound up selling it, so it don't really matter. But this is a 72 Ford 4500 industrial diesel, 3-cylinder diesel. It's old. Got a lot of slop in it everywhere. Back bucket battery got a lot of slop in the swing. And it's got this chain thing on here that makes it go back and forth. And I don't know how you tighten that thing up. I don't know if I got to try to take a link out or something right here. Take all this loose and try to take a link out to tighten it up or what. I don't know. I've never messed with anything like that before, so I don't exactly sure how that's going to work. It's got a lot of slop in it. I'm talking about almost a half, probably right at a half a swing almost, slop in it. I think it's gotten worse. So, and the things on this thing, that thing grabs, if that there is supposed to have teeth on it, they all wore off completely. So all down in here, I don't know. I'm probably just going to have to live with it like it is, because trying to get parts of this old stuff like this is pretty freaking hard unless you can find somebody who's got a junk one, they're scrapping out. And sometimes the odds of that, and I mean, to get that out of there, I have to take the whole boom off to get that thing out. And I still don't see exactly how I would get it out then, to be honest. Because this piece up here, it's got a little thing on top, a little keeper that keeps that from, coming out. I mean, if I took that off, see, that's welded on. So I don't know how the devil, because to get this thing, I had to get this thing up off of this spindle right down here. I had to get it up off of that unless it comes off, unless that thing comes out the bottom. And it feels like it might will, but man, getting that booger out of there, I'm sure will not be a pleasant job. Then you got all these hoses, so I really don't know if I'm gonna be able to do anything much with that. But we'll see. Cause I got to get this thing running first. I mean, get the thing where I can steer. Cause I got to have this front bucket and everything to work on my garage. You know, for help hold the walls up. And I got to dig a little, make my little septic tank system. I got these big old driveway pipes. That's way. I don't know if I can zoom it in good enough. There's one laying right there, and I got two more. That's a 12-inch, and I got 3 8-inch. I got 3 12-inch, 3 8-inch, and I need to get like a 22 degree to go on both of them because my ditch is at an angle, and you can't bend that stuff right yonder. There ain't no bending that. That's that double wall pipe. You might could bow it just a little bit, but I ain't gonna be able to bow it enough to do what I gotta do. So I need it for that. Help get that in. Cause I'm gonna try to backfill all that in with dirt. Because washing away this over a year away before I ever bought it, it was already a mess then. But when you buy a place like this, it's old, been here, gosh, I don't know, 60, 70 years probably. You know, now this other stuff ain't been here that long, I'm sure. And this garage, I imagine this garage has probably been here at least 50 years or more. But it just, whenever it really rains, a lot of rain, it runs off from back yonder out of those woods. It's not my property. Runs down through here and goes right on down out behind us right here, and it's washed up. A spot back here, so if I can get that pipe in here, I'm just going to backfill all this all the way up to the pad. That's my intention. So it's really a mess right there. And then this whole side up here, where they didn't make the pad big enough when they poured the concrete. Get this thing set right. Like I say, I'm getting used to this camera. I got to block it, put some blocks down, lay some block, and try to cut some holes in this and pour some concrete down in it or something on this side here. But if I could backfill this side, that'll save me a lot of time, a lot of trouble trying to do the same thing back here. So there's one post I haven't got out yet because it's about the only one that was actually, by God, it was in place real good. It was acting. That's because it got a little concrete around it. All the rest of them, I just got them out by hand. But and they didn't get the concrete smooth out here on the edges and everything. So I was just going to come in about 6 inches all the way around, and I mean, you're talking about a half a foot. I mean, that's not no deal breaker or anything. They only had 2 anchors on this thing. They have one over here at this corner over here, where this right about there. They had an anchor there, and they had an anchor right here, and that was it. 2 anchors on all this is all they had on the wall. Well, they didn't really have no walls. They had just these 4x4 creosote posts like that right there, and they just had some, I don't know, 2x6s nailed to that, and then they put 10 on it. So, but that whole front, that's where the doors were, and they only had 2 anchors, and that was not sturdy at all. When I started tearing this thing down, it almost fell down with me. Well, some of it did fall down, matter of fact. I really want to get this thing built back. We're going to make it a story and a half, have upstairs storage, and we're going to have an office on this corner right here. And I'll have a little bathroom with a toilet sink, and might even have to put a little shower in it too. Right about where I'm standing right here, somewhere along this area. Well, I got a lot of things I really want to work on, like on my other video I got posted. I like making stuff, I like fixing stuff, I like, just mess with all kind of things, and I got, man, this weather is nasty today. Breezy, wet, it was raining this morning. But in this little building here, that's where I've got a lot of stuff in here. I had to take it out of the garage. In there, I got chainsaws at the wazoo. I mean, Sears, Maul, David Bradley, Homelight, McCullough. I got a Skill, Clinton. Got a couple, I can't even remember the names of them. And then I got a board set up back there, a bunch of tools I had hanging in the garage, so I put them back out here and hung them out here where I could at least find some of the tools. I got a bunch of C-clamps and pipe wrenches now. I got a couple of pipe wrenches I have restored, but I got some more that I'm going to restore. Like I said, I got some toys. I like to make a little piece of furniture every now and then. My wife wants me to make her a coffee table and a new entertainment center. Got a lot of things I want to do. I ain't getting no younger. My back, I pinched a muscle. I got a strain of muscle in my back and my lower back, which I've been having trouble with that for years now. For some reason, I don't know why. It gives me such a problem. And I got this tent up here. I got it full of stuff I took out of the garage. But there's my chain vise right there. That's a handy thing to have, is a chain vise. I mean, they're worth their weight in gold at times, man, just holding stuff. I got this tent off of Amazon, Vivo or whatever it is, that company. It's alright. It ain't the best tent I ever had, but see, I got it full. Stuff in here, shelves and everything, and table. I got my wire welder, I got my stick welder, I got my cutting torch. I mean, I got everything crammed in here. I ain't got some of my cast iron stuff I didn't have room in the house for in here. I got a lot of things I want to do. I just don't know. Hopefully, health holds out. I hope I'll be able to do a lot of it. Of course, like I say, something could happen to you tomorrow, and there's nothing you can do about it. But it's, as long as you keep going at it. Excuse me sniffing. I got a cold too on top of everything else. So, life sucks, and then you die, don't you? Pretty much. I know people say, that's not a good attitude to have. Well, I ain't seen anything show me otherwise much. I mean, can't afford to do this, can't afford to do that. We got a motorhome, we want to try to use that some. Just a lot of things I want to do. And like I say, I'm not getting no younger, and I just don't know if I'm going to. Hope I'll be able to do everything I want to try to get done. I mean, and then some people say, well, if in your age, why are you worrying about do all this stuff? Well, it's because I like to stay busy. To me, that's the key to staying halfway youthful. As long as you stay busy, keep your hands working, keep your feet moving, whether you're in pain or not, I mean, Now, I got a pretty nice place here. I got a nice house, got a well house. I want to get this garage done. Hopefully I get it done this spring. I think about next month I'll go and get my lumber to do the walls and all, all the framework and everything. And go from there. You just have to keep picking away. That's always been my philosophy, is pick, keep picking at it. As long as you keep picking at it along, you'll get it done eventually. Just can't give up. And even though you might feel like throwing your hands up sometimes and saying, I give up, but I just don't like the idea of giving up. I really, see if I can adjust this phone a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Like I say, I ain't used to camera, so I'm learning as I go. I'm learning on the fly. I just don't like to give up on my what little bit of dreams I have left. One thing the government can't take away from you is your dreams. They can take pretty much everything else. They can take everything you want and not bat an eye, but they can't take your dreams or your hope. Well, it might feel like they can sometimes, but sometimes, from what I see on some of the social media stuff and everything, I just don't understand where our country has gone. It went down a slippery slope and got down at the bottom. It's just a big mud hole. Some people just act like they want to destroy this country for some reason. We got a lot of freedoms, even though they've taken some of our freedom away a little bit. Me, it started off with seatbelts. When they started telling you they put seatbelts in the car, then they come up and say they're going to fine you for not wearing a seatbelt. Well, to me, that still ought to be my choice. I mean, I wear it regardless, but if I didn't want to wear it, I should have that choice not to wear it. I mean, whenever the government can come up and say, well, you've got to do this, or you got to do, insurance on cars. Insurance is one of the biggest scams out there, is insurance companies. They're some of the richest companies in the world as insurance companies. But yet you got to have it to be able to drive your car on the road. You got to have insurance, or they can fine you for that. I mean, it just seems like we got to have the permission from the government to do pretty much anything. Seems like, and our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves right now if they see what's become of this country. I mean, it's just ungodly what has happened. I mean, there's no morals anymore, don't seem like. People are just gone completely berserk. And I don't understand. I don't care what people do. I mean, that's their business. What they do behind, on their property, that's their business. But when you come here and start trying to tell me you want me to do exactly what you do, well, that ain't gonna fly. Not with me. They might think I'm an old man. They can make me do whatever. No, you can't. I go down swinging with my last breath, because I mean, you just ain't gonna come on. Because eventually, people's gonna try that. They're gonna start, at some point. It might not down here in the South where I'm at, but there's some places already it's like that. I mean, everybody wants you to cow down to their beliefs, no matter what it is or how crazy it is. They want you to cow down to them, and all like these pronouns and mess and everything. I just can't believe we've gotten to that part of it. But I'm sorry. If your feelings get hurt, well, suck it up and get over it. That's all I had to do my whole life. If my feelings ever got hurt, I learned a long time ago to leave your feelings at the house. when I worked construction work back in the 80s. If you was a little pansy, you wouldn't last a day on a construction job back in the 80s. I mean, them guys were brutal out there, man. They talk all kind of smack to you all day long. And I learned real quick just to give it right back to them. And they enjoyed it. They loved it. You know, they liked that. Yeah, that's how they have a good time. Some people's always, oh, it hurt my feelings. Your feelings get hurt that easy. You need to go just sit in the closet somewhere and lock the door and have somebody just bring you a tray of food and slide it under the door for you or something. I don't know if you're going to be that bad. I know sometimes a lot of people say, well, blah, 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 you shouldn't be that way, you should consider people's feelings, everything. I ain't got time for all that kind of crap. The only feelings I care about is my wife's feelings. I love my wife, and I'd do anything in the world for her. And sometimes I've hurt her feelings, and I didn't even mean to. And I always apologize for it. But she's a good woman. She's, she works. She helps take care of the cats. We got a bunch of cats, more than what we need. But we love them, and we sure ain't gonna give them up. But it's just, that's the only feelings I worry about is my wife's. Because she lives with me and I live with her. We try to get along best we can. We have our moments like anybody else. But all in all, we get along pretty good, I think. Believe me, for her to put up with me, she's got to be a good woman, because I am not easy to put up with at times. She says I've gotten a lot better over the years. She says I've kind of mellowed out some. Maybe around her, but I really don't think I mellowed out that much. I just try to be considerate of her and try to watch what I say. Sometimes I open my mouth way too quick before I think about what I'm saying, and I have to, eat a little crow. But that's all part of being married. And I try to make her laugh. I always come with these crazy sayings, and stuff. I tell some boys, a little young boy one time, they was talking about how tough they were and everything. And I told them one time, I said, rather sandpaper a lion's ass with hemorrhoids and screw with me, boys. I said, I'm an old man. I ain't got nothing to lose. I said, I don't fight fair. So y'all can talk all this smack you want, but when you get my age, you don't worry about fighting fair anymore. You take and kick whatever you can. But this is going to be it for a little bit, I guess, because I got to get in. I was trying to sprinkle some more. I just want to make up this little video here. Then I might try to get this on YouTube. And if I can make sure I can do it, because this is a new camera. I'm not sure if I'm even recording, but I'm pretty sure I am. So, and we'll see what happens. Everybody have a good day. Enjoy life best you can.